Hello Vlogalogue. So I did miss my video last week, and I appreciate everyone who messaged me and asked me if everything was okay. I was unable to post anything or notify anybody that I was unable to post. So I apologize to all of the Vlogalogians, both the people on this channel and everyone else watching. Yeah. So the question that Kevin postulated this week is the internet makes it harder for us to be creative because we fear that potential negative feedback, and that can be a scary thing for people. Whereas, say, as his example, if someone was a novelist, they could write for 4 years, never have anybody look at it, and then finally send it off to a publisher. But during those 4 years, they're able to create and make mistakes and change things freely with no real threat of repercussions via negative feedback. So it's an interesting thought, and I think that it is incompletely worded. That's what I think. Because certainly some people can take negative feedback and immediately just shut down. If they're working on something, there's a bumblebee. Go away. Alright, he's away. What was I saying? If someone is working on something, for some people negative feedback can just be a deal breaker. Like if someone says the thing that you're working on is stupid, they'll just stop and never work on it again. It's kind of, that's sort of, in my opinion, the same way like most people think that they're bad at math because they've, failed to recognize a small exception in their 5th grade math class and spend the rest of their life saying, "Oh, I'm bad at math." Hey, but it's a thing in certainly Western culture and many others, if not all, maybe all. It's not something that I've ever looked into. It's a thing that we do not like failing, or feeling like we've failed, or making mistakes. Those are, for whatever reason, sort of stigmatized. And I mean, it certainly makes sense to some degree. Like, if you make a mistake in the business world and it costs your company that you're working for millions of dollars, then that is a mistake. And I understand why someone would not want to make those mistakes. But when it comes to mistakes, creatively speaking, I wish that we didn't have a culture that did that sort of lampooned people for making creative mistakes, or I mean, not even necessarily mistakes, but like making something and not having it be this perfect, polished object that we would otherwise expect on a platform. So, for example, if a first-time vlogger makes something and say the lighting's bad, the framing's bad, the sound is bad, they can be lampooned and not feel like they are any good at it, so they'll get discouraged and just stop. And that's the worst thing you can possibly do. Now, I said that the wording of Kevin's postulation is wrong because I think that is only for some people, maybe most people, but there are certainly people, myself included, who thrive off of that negative feedback. Like, if someone told me that I was bad at something and it was something that I really wanted to do and be good at, that only makes me want to be better. And the bee is very close. Holy crap. It's not on the camera at all, but it's like around me. I just don't feel like getting stung. I'm not like allergic or anything. It's just an inconvenience. Oh, so anyway, I enjoy negative feedback, and Kevin's postulation presumes that all people regard negative feedback as a deterrent. Certainly for a majority. I would say that's probably true. But not for all. And it's in that kind of environment that certain people thrive. Not to say that I'm thriving, but certain people can thrive because of that negative feedback. the thing is, if you're going to create and you're going to put on the internet, you need to develop a thick skin, because people, no matter how good you are, there's going to be people that aren't going to like you. And a small fraction of those people that aren't going to like you are going to be very vocal about it. It's just a truth of the internet. Now, these are people who probably wouldn't think to insult you in person, but even though we are talking about, the idea of accountability on the internet, there's also a certain amount of anonymity, more so than any other anything that we've ever experienced. And people think that they can get away with it, that they can say these things, and a lot of people get a kick out of it for whatever reason, because they like the attention. It's typically what it is. So that's my take on it. This is coming to you from the past. Normally, I record and upload on the day I upload, but I'm going to be going to Texas for a week starting tomorrow morning, because my brother's getting married. So that'll be fun. And normally I like seeing everyone else's, and so far I've only seen Alex's response. So it's interesting. I feel like I'm giving incomplete information. I've gotten too used to hearing everyone else's responses before making my own. All right. With that, my friends, I will see you next week, because I should be back by then. It might be up late, but it'll be back. All right. I love you all. I'll see you next week.